So this is a real, honest, in-a-moment conversation. Context and background is Christian and I are back at the track. We attempted a 2x2 mile repeat workout on Sunday, Father's Day. It didn't go according to plan, so decided to come back. It's Tuesday, give it another shot. I warmed up, ready to go. Could I do the workout? Yes. As I have been thinking in the last couple of days, I would benefit hugely from a complete reset and rebuild, as my training the last few weeks is not where I want it to be. And although we've done some crazy good stuff, especially since Coach Christian's come back in the last 3 workouts, major breakthroughs, but I feel like I'm in this for the long term, not just for the next couple of weeks. This is going to be a conversation between him and me, unedited and raw footage.
I tend to agree. I think some of the recent workouts, we had a goal in mind going in and we didn't quite get there on a few of them. Maybe a hard reset is what we need, starting sort of a new progression, a new uptrend on the ladder, and go back to 400s and nail the times there. Because if you can't nail each workout going forward in terms of the goal and the doing the structure entirely, it's like trying to build on top of sand, right? The foundation has to be there. You have to solidly complete those. So the 400s to the 800s have to be to completion to begin with. If you lose that, you tend to lose the overall focus of the training plan itself, and you just kind of wander aimlessly, and you start a workout and then you're like, I'm gonna do it, and then you almost do it. Do you think the speed's there? I think we've built a lot of speed, and I want to continue capitalizing on that. Doing a reset is going to make the most sense here, and capitalize on that speed in the lower reps of the shorter distances first, finalizing those workouts, and then structuring something in the mid distance, and then the obviously upper distances when we're ready for those. Again, building that strong foundation is good.
Just picking up on what Coach said, he's absolutely right. Historically, I've run 8x400, 10x400 at 140. But for me to break a 6-minute mile, I need to be able to run 4 consecutively in 90 seconds or less. So we need to start recalibrating those workouts, go back down to 400s at maybe 95 and work ourselves down to 90. And with shorter breaks, we've, again, historically been doing 90-second breaks. Maybe at some point we need to cut that down to a 60-second break. And then, like he said, we don't want to build on sand. We want to build on a solid foundation and move up. And I like the idea. I think I'm reading between his words, and I'll let him answer that, but literally, quote unquote, pass the test, right? For each workout, do we meet the objectives of that workout, yes or no? If we did, we go on to the next workout, we're all good. If we didn't, we need to talk of like why and figure out the why and ensure that we incorporate that in future workouts so we can progressively improve. The other comment before I turn it back to Coach is the mile repeats for me. I did really great last year when he and I worked together. I was in better shape. And, I would do 4 or 5 mile repeats, right down to 7-minute pace. We need to get there, right? I can't do 1 or 2 or even 3. We need to get to 4 or 5 to build that speed endurance, get down below 7. I need to be able to run, in training, 6:45s or even faster and repeats, right? With a relatively modest break. Those breaks historically been not quite 1-to-1, but pretty close, 5-minute breaks in between the mile repeats. Maybe they would need to be 3-minute breaks. We'll see.
It's okay, right, when you don't meet an objective to pivot. Not finishing a workout is very psychologically damaging. I remember when I was in high school track, if I didn't finish a workout, I would feel disappointed, my coach would be disappointed, and I'd again feel even more disappointed the next day. I do agree sometimes pivoting is important, and offering that deloading aspect helps take off the physical expenditure as well. But there's also a big barrier physically and psychologically between the 400 800s and the mile and 2 mile. When we've been working so hard on capitalizing on speed, it's not going to translate as great to those until you're ready. I definitely agree. I think we need to go back and capitalize on the speed we've built. He's been hitting these the hundreds, sub 20 very consistently, 200s, high 30s. Those could easily translate into 95s or low 90s in the 400s. And I think getting completion there is going to set up a lot better for when we have to amp up the distance.
The last thing before we close out this quick reset rebuild conversation is my upcoming Trail of Verbier X Traversée race in Switzerland on July 12th. As you guys know, if you've been following our channel, it's a 76 kilometer or 48 mile mountain trail ultra with about 5,300 meters or 17,500 feet of vert, highly technical, above 8,000 feet altitude, partially in snow. Although I finished the Verbier Marathon on some of the same trails last summer, and that was a shorter, less vert, less technical, and my lower back injury inflamed the last couple of miles, and I did finish, but it was not easy. So this is a major challenge for me, and as part of the reset rebuild, I'm rethinking that. I haven't finalized that decision, but I am more than likely at this point to drop down a distance. I don't want to do the marathon again. I've done that, enjoyed it. It was awesome, beautiful. I may drop down further to the 25K, which still gives me 1 UTMB point or stone from my journey to qualify for UTMB in 2026. So all is not lost. It still be an amazing event and experience, and it's going to be hard no matter what. These things are never easy, and yeah, we'll continue building.
Just a final thought, and this is true for every runner out there. It's fine when you're hitting resistance at a certain track distance. Let's say it's the mile, which is something I hit resistance at. When I was my freshman, sophomore year of high school, I was consistently getting in the low fives. I just started sort of, I guess, petering off, and I went down to the 4x4, and I immediately started crushing. I was running low 50s. As a long distance guy, that was really refreshing. And then from there, you can completely go back up to the mid and the long distances. But it makes no sense when you're hitting resistance in your particular event to continue just trying to blindly barrel through it like a bull in a china shop, because you're just going to keep hitting your head against the wall. So I definitely think a lot of it, you need to take a step back, especially physically, because you've been likely beating yourself up at training at those distances for probably a little bit too long. And then you'll find that your body adapts much more easily to a different distance. Just going from there is going to be like the smart decision.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for following. Thanks for supporting. And if you enjoyed this quick, raw, authentic conversation about where we are and what we want to do, please give the video a big thumbs up. If you're not already following, if you discovered us, please come along, click subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next one.